How did the author of the book of James become who he is? How did he get his name from being called by a different name in the Old Testament? Let's find out. In this video, we are going to look at one man's story from the Old Testament that somehow ended up becoming the author of one of our New Testament books. His journey is amazing. And if you don't know his story, well, stick around because you are about to learn something new today. The man whose name was Jacob found himself alone, far away from everything familiar to him. He had left his homeland, driven by a dream that God had given him. He longed for something more, something deeper in his walk with God. It was during this time that he met Jesus, and it changed his life forever. In fact, it changed his name forever. You see, Jacob didn't just become a follower of Jesus, he became his friend. In fact, when Jesus was on trial before the Jewish religious leaders, there was one person who stood up for him. When they asked him, "Are you friends with Jesus?" this man didn't deny it. He said, "Yes, I am a friend of Jesus." And you may be asking yourself right now, who was this man and what happened to him? Well, let's find out. Jacob was not an ordinary man. He was a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. His lineage was deeply rooted in the promises God had made to the nation of Israel. Yet despite his heritage, Jacob felt a profound discontent. He yearned for something beyond the traditions and rituals of his day. There was an emptiness within him that no amount of external observance could fill. Then came the pivotal moment when Jacob encountered Jesus. Their first meeting was nothing short of transformative. Jesus, with his words and actions, challenged the very core of Jacob's being. It was as if Jesus had known Jacob's heart, understanding the deep longing that had been stirring within him. The encounter left Jacob questioning everything he had previously held as truth. As days turned into weeks, Jacob couldn't shake off the impact of their first meeting. He found himself drawn to Jesus, not just as a religious leader, but as a friend. This wasn't merely a casual acquaintanceship. No, this was a bond of mutual respect, trust, and love that went beyond the superficial. Now, some people might think, well, hey, Jesus had 12 disciples. It wasn't anything special to have a friend in Jesus. But let me tell you, this is where things took an unexpected turn. As Jacob delved deeper into his friendship with Jesus, he began to see the divinity in him. He witnessed miracles that defied explanation. He heard teachings that resonated with the deepest yearnings of his soul. Most importantly, he experienced a love that was unconditional and all-encompassing. This revelation didn't come easily. There were moments of doubt, times when Jacob struggled to reconcile his belief in the Jewish traditions with the teachings of Jesus. Yet through it all, Jesus remained patient, guiding Jacob towards the truth. He didn't force Jacob to abandon his faith, but instead walked alongside him, helping him see the bigger picture. However, this newfound clarity came at a cost. As Jacob grew closer to Jesus, he became a target. The Jewish religious leaders, threatened by Jesus' growing influence, viewed Jacob's association with him as a liability. They pressured Jacob, trying to make him choose between his old life and his friendship with Jesus. It was during one of these confrontations that a remarkable transformation took place. Jacob, under immense pressure, chose Jesus. This decision wasn't a rash one. It was the culmination of weeks of soul-searching, prayer, and wrestling with one's own heart. In that moment of decision, Jacob didn't just confess his faith in Jesus, he also received a new name, a name that would forever symbolize his commitment. Jesus, looking into Jacob's eyes, said, "From this day forward, your name will be Tiago." This wasn't just a name change. It was a public declaration, a renaming in the sight of God. But why Tiago? What did this name signify? Well, the name Tiago comes from the Hebrew name Jacob, and it means supplanter, or he grabs the heel. It's a name that speaks of struggle, of someone who, through sheer determination and cunning, manages to prevail. But Jesus, in bestowing this name upon Jacob, elevated its meaning. He saw in Jacob not just a supplanter, but a vessel of faith, someone who had chosen him despite the struggles and persecutions. As Tiago, he became one of Jesus' most ardent followers. He walked with Jesus during his ministry, witnessing firsthand the compassion, the power and the divinity of the man from Nazareth. Tiago wasn't just a passive observer. He learned from Jesus not only the teachings, but also how to live a life that was centered around love, service, and unwavering faith. After Jesus' resurrection, Tiago didn't waver. He continued to proclaim the message of salvation, sharing the good news of the kingdom of God. He traveled extensively, not just within the borders of Israel, but beyond, carrying with him the essence of Jesus' teachings. It was during this time that Tiago penned a letter that would become part of the New Testament, bearing his name, the Book of James. In this letter, we see the depth of his understanding of faith. He wrote, "Faith by itself, if it is lifeless, is dead." He emphasized that true faith wasn't just a belief in the heart, but a force that moved one to action, a catalyst for positive change. Throughout his ministry, Tiago faced many challenges. There were times when he had to defend his beliefs against those who opposed them. There were moments when he encountered skepticism and disbelief, yet through it all, Tiago stood firm. He didn't shy away from proclaiming the message he had received. As the years passed, Tiago's influence grew. He became a beacon of light, guiding countless individuals toward the path of righteousness. His life, once filled with emptiness, was now overflowing with purpose, driven by the teachings and companionship of Jesus. When we read the Book of James, we are essentially reading the thoughts, experiences, and teachings of a man who dared to follow his heart, a man who left his past behind to embrace a future with Jesus. The book reflects Tiago's journey, his struggles, his triumphs, and his unwavering commitment to spreading the message of love and salvation. Let's look at 4 lessons we can learn from Tiago. Number 1. Following Jesus leads to a new life. For Tiago, following Jesus wasn't just about adhering to a set of beliefs. It meant embracing a new way of living. He abandoned his old life, leaving behind the familiar for something that was far more fulfilling. Lesson No. 2. Overcoming challenges. Tiago's path wasn't easy. He faced opposition, pressure, and likely persecution. Yet he persevered, demonstrating that faith in Jesus equips us to overcome any challenge. No. 3. Living a life of purpose. Through his writings and teachings, Tiago found his purpose. He dedicated his life to guiding others toward righteousness, showing us that our purpose often lies in serving Jesus and our fellow human beings. Number 4. The importance of faith in action. Tiago didn't just believe in Jesus. He lived out his faith. He believed that faith without action is dead, urging us to put our beliefs into practice, to let our faith be evident in our actions. Tiago's journey from Jacob to Tiago was a testament to the transformative power of faith in Jesus. His life serves as an inspiration for believers, reminding us to follow Jesus wholeheartedly, to face challenges with courage, to live a life of purpose, and to let our faith be evident in our actions. Tiago's story isn't just a historical account. It's a beacon of hope, a symbol of faith, and an invitation to embrace a life of purpose and devotion to Jesus. I ask you this: are you like Jacob in your walk with Jesus? Or have you already received a new name from Jesus? Let us know in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily videos. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.